Hi, it's Susanna from Piggy Makes Bank, and I thought I'd talk to you a little bit today about what PLR is, some of the common formats that you can find it in, and what you want to look for before you purchase a PLR pack. So let's start right up at the beginning. PLR stands for Private Label Rights. And for our context here, when it comes to PLR content, this is mainly pre-written content that you can use to edit, change, tweak as you see fit, claim as your own, and publish as your own on your website. You can use it as blog content. You can use it in your emails, in your email marketing. You can use it to create fresh lead magnets very quickly, which is one of my favorite uses of PLR. You can use it as a starting point to create your own products to sell or as membership content. So here at Piggy Makes Bank, we mainly specialize in written PLR content, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about quite a bit. I also have some notes to make sure I don't forget to share anything important with you. And one thing I wanted to point out and encourage you to play with is you really want to get creative with PLR content. That's where it really shines. So one example that always pops into my head when I think about creative uses of PLR is one of my favorite projects I did long before Tracy and I became PLR creators and PLR sellers. It is something I did for one of my niche websites because long before we started selling PLR, Tracy and I both used PLR in our own businesses, individual businesses. And one of my favorite projects was I found this great PLR article with 20 interesting facts about breast cancer, and I used it to create an interactive quiz on one of my health and wellness blogs where people could go through, and depending on how many answers they got right, it kind of gave them a fun little description and idea of how much they knew about breast cancer facts. It's a great interactive way to teach more about breast cancer awareness. And because it was fun and interactive, it kind of went viral long before viral blog posts, viral videos, and that kind of thing were a thing. So don't be afraid to get creative. Also, don't be afraid to change formats. So if you find a bunch of great PLR articles, there's absolutely no reason not to turn them into a lead magnet, a short report, make them part of your ebook, or even change format altogether and use them as the basis to record a video. So for example, this video that I'm recording for you today is based on a chapter that I wrote for a guide that we have available on our website called What the Heck is PLR and What Do I Do with It? And you can actually find the original excerpt from the report, tweaked and edited a little bit, of course, to make it flow better and make it work better as a blog post over at piggymakesbank.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I will link to that post in the description below, or maybe you're reading it embedded in the blog post already. So take a look. And don't be afraid to get creative with what you do with PLR content. You can change it around, move it around as you see fit. And then let's talk a little bit about the most common formats of PLR content. So the biggest one is probably article packs, and you can find this in any and all numbers and iterations. So you might find a 5 PLR article pack. Some sites will even sell you a la carte, one article at a time. You can find it 10, 15, 20. We have some 30 article packs. You can even find them in larger formats. There's really no set number, but usually with a good quality PLR seller, they will tell you exactly what you get, how many articles, about what word count range those articles are in, what the titles are. Sometimes they'll even show you a little excerpt. And a lot of PLR sellers also have smaller article packs that you can download for free to get a feel for the type of content that they have. We have that here at Piggy Makes Bank. If you go to piggymakesbank.com and scroll down toward the bottom of the page, you can find all of our free PLR packs that you are welcome to use, and check us out to see if this is something that you could make work for your business, and if there's a way we can help you with your content marketing through our PLR. Another common format is short reports. So these could be anything from just one long Word document with all the text in it, or it could be something that is already prettily formatted with an e-cover, with graphics inside. You know, you can find a range of products there. And again, the sales page for that particular short report PLR product should tell you what to expect once you download the PLR. You know, there's advantages and disadvantages to either. Personally, I prefer a somewhat bland and blank short report document because we already have established templates and a certain style that we want to see in our PLR content. And one of the quickest ways to make your content stand out from anybody else using that same piece of PLR content is to change out the images. So I usually, even if it's something that comes with graphics, I usually tend to use my own images and graphics, and you can either use your own photos or you can use your favorite stock photo site. We really like Deposit Photos to grab some images and add them and really make it look like something brand new and unrecognizable. Another format is ebooks. These are kind of very similar usually to the short report bundles, but they tend to be longer. So I would call something an ebook bundle if the Word document, the main word count is at least 3,000 words, but that can go up to 30,000 and beyond. Again, it can be already pre-formatted for you with a cover graphic you can edit, or it can be blank. And sometimes with ebooks, you will find that there's also a sales page for you and a download page and some sales copy and that kind of stuff, and maybe even a couple of sets of promotional graphics. Again, it varies from provider to provider, so have a look at that. The next type of format that's pretty common is a biz in a box. So these are usually large PLR bundles where you get a little bit of everything that you need to set up a business from scratch. So that is website content, it's a product to sell, it's a lead magnet, that kind of thing. I'm usually not a huge fan of these kind of businesses in a box because it also kind of boxes you in. I kind of prefer to piece it together from different areas, different PLR providers, and create some of the stuff of my own. But you know, everybody is in a different place, and if this is what it takes to help you get your business started, by all means, take a look and see what you can do with something like that. And then there's a lot of mixed media PLR content. We actually create some of this here at Piggy Makes Bank as well. And by mixed media, it just means that you're getting a bunch of different pieces of content that you can use in different ways. So for example, it could be a pack of articles, but also email messages that you can send out to send some traffic to those articles, and you know, make sure your readers know about the new blog post that published, that kind of thing. They might have social media posts. Sometimes they will have images and infographics and that type of thing. One of our favorite PLR providers that we recommend is Tools for Motivation, and they will even have audiobook files and slide decks and that kind of thing included in some of their packs. Speaking of quality PLR providers, paying attention to the quality of PLR is really important. While there are a lot of great providers of pre-written content, there's also a lot of, frankly, crap that you can find out there. And that's the kind of pre-written content where it will take you longer to clean it up, so you're proud of what you're publishing, than it would have taken you to write it from scratch. And that's kind of pointless. The whole point of using pre-written content is to save time and be able to move more quickly, create more content, and get it out there. So you want to pay attention to the quality of the PLR. At Piggy Makes Bank, we have a list of recommended PLR sellers that we recommend. These are people we have worked with, that we have personally vetted, and in most cases it is sites that we've bought from in the past and used in our own individual niche businesses. So take a look at that. I make sure we include a link to it in the blog post that accompanies this video as well. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is paying attention to a PLR license. In most cases, a PLR license is pretty straightforward. We have an example of the one we use in the blog post. You know, it just tells you what you can and can't do. In most cases, the one thing you cannot do is resell the pre-written content as pre-written content, PLR content. So basically, you buy it from us and then you resell it to a bunch of other people as PLR. What you can do, however, is usually create paid products or give away the content for free. But again, there's some limitations depending on the PLR provider, but usually these things are explained very clearly and in very clear language. So have a look, take a look at the example PLR license, and whenever you purchase PLR, make sure you read through the license to make sure you're using it in the way it was intended to be used. Because in most cases, the PLR license is put in place to protect you, to make sure you're getting the most out of the PLR content, along with anybody else who purchases that particular piece of content. And then before we wrap this up, let's talk about a couple of red flags. Personally, I prefer in almost all instances not to buy master resale rights PLR. So that is the one exception to don't resell PLR as PLR. If you have a master resale rights license, you can purchase it and you can then resell it as many times as you would like. And the reason I don't like using that as PLR content on my niche sites is because you then can't control anymore about how many other people have this content, how often it is out there in the world. So, but that's just a personal preference. You know, if you go ahead and edit and change the content quite a bit, that might not be an issue for you. The thing that's a deal breaker for me in most instances is when it's a deal that's just too good to be true. So if you get 500 ebooks, 1,000 articles, a bunch of social media and images and all that kind of stuff for $4.99, there's a pretty good chance it's you know, machine written or kind of crappy content that again will take you longer to clean up than it would have to create from scratch. I've actually bought some of that kind of PLR in the past and tried to use it, and finally after hours and days of aggravation given up, and that's a deal breaker for me now. It's if it's too good of a deal, then I'm a no thank you. And then last but not least, if you find a complicated license that you feel like you need to get a consultation with a lawyer before you're comfortable using the PLR, that's probably something that I would stay away from. You know, if it's a piece of PLR content I bought, see if I can get a refund. If not, just count my loss, count that as a loss. Or what I tend to do in most cases, if it's a new to me PLR seller, is I take a look at some of their inexpensive or free PLR content, and I would suggest you do the same. You know, just kind of take them for a trial run, see if things work out, and then if it's somebody you know, like, and trust, then maybe buy a larger pack. So this is the first part of a series of videos and blog posts Tracy and I are doing on what PLR is and what the heck to do with it. I hope you will join us in future iterations of this particular series. And if you have any questions, please leave them as a comment below, either on YouTube or on the blog, and we'll be happy to address those for you. And above all, please check us out at piggymakesbank.com and take a look at what we have to offer. We offer a wide variety of PLR content, but we also have training courses and a lot of great free resources for you to help you with your content marketing and help you grow your business. With that, I'm going to wrap this up and I'll see you soon.